What's going on, everybody? It's Masters of None. It's the Sheetcast. It's another Jay's one hitter, number three, with our pal Seggie from Straight No Chaser. What's up, dude?
Hold for applause. Hold
What'd you
for
say?
applause. Hold for applause.
Hold for applause. I almost knocked my lamp
And
over.
yeah, it's great to be here. It's great to be back.
Yeah, man. This is the just for our special Patreon people because we're taking the podcasting to the future. I don't know if you know about this, but we're doing something called the Sheetcast, where
Okay.
we're taking all our podcast content and it's only for our Patreon people, and we put everything onto a Google Sheet.
Nice. That's
This
that's exciting.
It's the future, man.
Groundbreaking.
It's the future. So I know you always do. You're a big movie guy like myself. You do your Oscar picks every year. You got a pretty solid batting average, I'd say, on picking the winners.
Yeah,
So let's get into it, man. I thought 2023 was a pretty crap year for movies. What do you think?
I would agree wholeheartedly. It was top heavy for sure. You've got some big ones on top, but man, it's been a rough go of it just the past handful of years, really. I mean, I think the whole industry is kind of doesn't really know what to do. It's just recycling old IP and recycling, and just not a whole lot of money available for new ideas. So we're getting stuck with these movies that are just not great. So the ones that slip through the cracks are going to be the ones that have, the social messaging and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, before when there was money for, you know, indie style movies, uh, we weren't stuck with what we have now. But yeah, it's not been great.
Yeah, I was looking back at my AMC. The movies were so bad last year that I canceled my AMC like A-list thing where you could just see unlimited movies. I canceled it like in at the end of September because there's just nothing coming out. And with the strike and everything this year, like I think the next couple of years is gonna be even rougher, man. Like this year and next year.
Oh, totally. I mean, we're feeling it now with TV, right? So everything was delayed for so long because of the strike. So yeah, I mean that's just going to push movies back even further.
All right, so let's take a look. We're gonna do like the big six, I think it is. We're gonna talk real quick and do our picks for best picture, director, actor, actress, and supporting. This is like one of the few years in recent memory where I have not seen all these movies. And again, I think some of them just came out pretty recently and like weren't really readily available anywhere yet. And so let's look at this list here. So let's start with picture, I guess, because everything else is going to revolve around these. So I'm still not a fan of this like expanded 10 movies included in this thing, but American Fiction, which I watched last night, Anatomy of a Fall, which I have no idea what that is, Barbie, which I saw, Holdovers, I saw, Killers of the Flower Moon. That was the Scorsese movie. Haven't seen that. Maestro. I started. I got like 10 minutes in. I was like, enough of this. Oppenheimer, which I saw. Past Lives. I don't know what that is. Poor Things, which I watched. And Zone of Interest, which is you saw most of these, right? If not all.
I saw all of these. Yeah.
All right. So let's just go run through them real quick. American Fiction is Jeffrey Rush about like a black author who kind of like is frustrated with the state of kind of the world and the book world, and he kind of like goes like full like black under a pseudonym and kind of just writes a trash book because that's what's selling, and then he kind of like wins all these awards and stuff. I watched it last night. It was decent. It was very, it kind of reminded me of Sorry to Bother You a little bit without like the weird surrealism to it.
Sure.
Kind of. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, you should seek that out, dude. It's pretty interesting. I forget the director's name, but he does like these kind of like super surreal kind of stories. You should check that out. Sorry to bother you, but
Uh,
look that up and you'll be like, oh yeah, I know what Jay was talking about. But what'd you think of this? I thought it was pretty good.
yeah, I liked it. I went I went into it completely blind. I didn't know anything about it.
Same.
And man, Jeffrey Rush is really solid. Like I
Yeah.
thought his performance was great. It was a great watch. I don't again like in any like stacked year, this probably wouldn't get a nomination for Best Picture. But compared to a lot of these movies on this list, it's much better. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it. I recommend it to people. It's a good, easy watch.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
it's got a lot of humor in it. He's basically the whole message is like, you know, we can write about other things than the stereotypical black experience that
Uh,
white suburbanites want to read about and try to connect to. But like when he's on the FaceTime or when he's on the conference call with the publishers, and they don't know it's him, and he's just doing this character and just playing this
Yeah.
super stereotypical like convict on the run. And when he tells him the title of the book he wants to use, and how they kind of just are like flipped, like the white guilt has like turned them into being like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, let's roll with it, like even though like they knew it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
uh but yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah. It was pretty good. What is Anatomy of a Fall? I have no idea what the hell this is.
Anatomy of a Fall is another author, actually. um Movie opens, her husband dies. He falls from the second floor of their home in
Okay.
Germany and dies.
It's a foreign film.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some English in there, but it's a lot of subs, French and German. Um, but then she becomes a person of interest, and then she's put on trial, and it just kind of follows that whole thing. Uh,
Okay.
it's very similar to The Staircase. I know you didn't know what that was, but that's a Netflix series and an HBO Max series about the same story about this author whose wife was found dead. And there's just, a lot of back and forth and the trial and everything. But it's a good watch. I enjoyed
Right
it.
on. Barbie we got. Barbie is Barbie. I'm sure you saw it.
Yeah.
We all saw it. Everybody saw it. It was good for what it was. I expected it to be pure trash. Like I liked what they were going for, but I think it had like so many messages that it just like ate its own message tail. It was like so, up its own ass. It's like, wait, so okay, I get it. Wait, now I don't get it anymore. Like, what is she like? What is she happy? Is she sad? Like, are we supposed to feel bad for her? I don't understand. There's so many messages. It was like baffling at the end. I'm like, so like I could have just thought about that movie for an hour afterward. So like, what are they actually trying to say? Because Barbie didn't get this and she got that. I was like, I don't know. Thoughts?
Same. I went into it with very low expectations. And it's a good popcorn movie. Like it has no business being in Best Picture, but it's a good popcorn movie. The whole like everyone's like going nuts over the America Ferrara's like monologue, but I agree with you. Like that was so it didn't make any sense. Like there were so many things she was saying. It was just like
Right.
it was like social warrior vomit.
Yeah.
But
Like there was
I
too much.
really I enjoyed the movie.
So did I, pretty much. Yeah.
I know like a bunch of dudes were like, "Oh man, this is like super anti dude and anti man," and I was like, I didn't really come away with it with that. Like I was just watching it on the surface level, like I didn't get too into the weeds. I wasn't offended by anything in the movie.
Yeah, me neither. It's like, all right, why can't girls just have stuff? Like, just who cares? Like,
It's
it's not for you. Just shut up.
just
Holdovers. This is Paul Giamatti. I was shocked that this got nominated as well. I didn't really think there was much to this. Paul Giamatti's like a college professor, a prep school professor who's like stuck over a break with like these, the ragtag bunch of misfit kids. It's like there wasn't much to it. I was shocked to see this on the list at all.
yeah, I agree. It seemed like a weird, disconnected prequel to Sideways.
Yeah,
It's
which I
like
hate. Hate
sim-
that fucking movie.
similar character, kind of same storyline, same arc. Um, like his performance was great, but the movie for me was just kind of meh. Like I
Yeah,
agree, it doesn't really have a place on a Best Picture list. But
same. He's just like Paul Giamatti doing his Paul Giamatti thing. I feel like it was like,
yeah, totally.
this is what he does all the time. Killers of the Flower Moon. I didn't see. It's the Scorsese thing with the Native Americans. I watched like the first half hour last night. It's like, all right, I was still in it. I wasn't bored yet, but it goes on for like 3 hours, right? And here, just kind of like
It's
I don't know what like the story doesn't interest me whatsoever, really. But I mean, I'll watch it because it's Scorsese. And first half hour is okay. I'm like, all right. I thought it was like an hour, but it was like a half hour. So maybe I see where the trend is going. But what'd you think of that?
I really like this one. I saw it when I was on tour. Actually, I went to the movies like midday before show. Um, I really enjoyed it. Like the thing I loved about this movie was seeing De Niro act well again.
Okay.
Because he hasn't been good in a while. Like the last few projects were not great. But man, he gets his fastball back in this one, and just him and Scorsese and DiCaprio together. It's It's solid. And you know, there's all these unknowns that are coming out of this movie. Specifically the girl Lily. She was so good. Like she doesn't like she acts so much without saying anything.
Mhm.
She
That's the
just makes
girl DiCaprio marries.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She's so stoic. But man, she was really solid. I really enjoyed the movie. Again, the subject matter I didn't really know much about. Um, but yeah, I thought all the performances were great. I really liked the movie. It didn't feel I'm kind of on an island and I know I'm in the minority on this, but these movies that are like 3+ hours, um, if I'm enjoying the movie, it doesn't feel like 3+ hours to me.
Right.
Um, but I wouldn't argue with someone that was like, hey, this should have been like 45 minutes shorter. Like, I get it. I get it.
Mm. So speaking of that, Oppenheimer, I think suffered from that for me. I don't know why this was an IMAX. Also, it's just a bunch of white dudes talking, and some of it's in black and white. Like, what are we doing here? There's, I don't know. It wasn't great use of the IMAX. Also, could have been way shorter. And it's just like, for a movie about the bomb, there's like 30 seconds of bomb in like a 3 hour movie. And you're just like, all right, this is like a prequel to something way more exciting.
It was a prequel to the actual bomb.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see what happens afterwards, not what
Yeah.
happens before, really. Like, I don't really give a shit.
I I loved it. I agree that the IMAX because we went and saw it in the 70 millimeter IMAX.
Yeah, me too.
Detroit for some reason has one of the 11 that are in the country or
Mm.
whatever. Um Completely unnecessary. Like
I know. They didn't
it's
even like give me some like cinematography porn. There was barely any.
yeah, yeah. There was like a few scenes here and there, but it was like I don't need like a 72-foot tall Cillian Murphy, however you say his
I
name,
think it's
just
Killian, yeah.
just talking. Like
Yeah,
I was like, I get that you're this guy, like Nolan's that guy to do that, but it just didn't seem like the right use. Like I agree. I love the movie though. I thought it was awesome. I want to do a rewatch. Probably won't get to it before Sunday, but I do want to see it again. Um, now that it's been a few months.
I want to take the scene where he's cheating on his wife and call it "You Down with OP Heimer."
Okay, it's a good
Thanks.
TikTok. It's a good TikTok.
Past lives. I have no idea what this is. What was this?
So this movie is about these two young Korean kids who are like super close. It's a boy and a girl, and they develop feelings, but they're at an age where they don't know what those feelings are. They're just best friends, and then all of a sudden, her family moves.
Okay.
Um, it's a really well made movie. It's well acted. It's the girl from did you watch Morning Show?
No.
Okay. She's been in a few other things. It's really well done. It's really well acted. It's a you know a decent script, but it's just kind of boring.
Okay.
It's one of those. It's kind of like fills that slot. Like I feel like every year in the Oscars, there's that one movie that's like, yeah, it's done well, but like no one really like walked away as like, oh, you got to see Past
Right,
Lives.
right,
I've never heard anyone recommend it. Um, it was probably like a better book. You know what I mean? One of those.
right. Poor things. So for me, this is the most interesting and like biggest swing of all these movies on here. Like something different. What the hell's his name? Zorgos Lanthimos? Is that his name?
Yeah, something like that.
Lorgos Xantham Gummis. I don't
Your
know.
Lantham.
Uh, but I like his stuff because he's always taking swings. Like it doesn't always he's not always hitting it over the fence. Sometimes he's Dave Kingman striking out. But I like that it's a wild movie. Emma Stone plays a girl a woman who dies, who's pregnant, and then Willem Dafoe like pulls the baby out of her and takes the baby's brain and sticks it into her head and like revives her. So it's kind of like a little Frankenstein-y thing, and then she's kind of growing, with the baby brain, and then it's just kind of like her like Forrest Gumpian adventures, kind of. But cool concept. Again, a little wacky, a little out there. I kind of enjoyed it. It was at least something, new and different, and you had no idea what the hell's coming next. I think they were doing a little bit of the Tropic Thunder how you get an Oscar in this for Emma Stone. I'm not gonna say it. I mean, I guess we could run Patreon, but you know what I'm talking about. Um, but I like this. I mean, should it win? I don't know. Like, I don't really think any of these should win per se. But this is probably my favorite of these movies on here.
Yeah, it's really good and it is wild. And I think something you said, uh, which I think defines this movie is it's beyond unpredictable. You know,
Yeah,
if you're given an a quiz with multiple choice questions, like I guarantee there would not be a single person that would guess any of the things that happen on her adventures.
yeah,
The thing that gets lost in this movie for me is like everyone's like Emma Stone, Emma Stone, Emma Stone, Emma Stone, but man, Willem Dafoe was unbelievable and like he's just so good and everything. But like
yeah,
man, he was so freaking good in this movie. Ruffalo is great. His accent was awful. It was going like within one sentence, his accent was going in and out like
yeah,
11 times.
yeah. There's a lot of that.
But man, that character was fun. That
Yeah.
was a fun character. But yeah, like it took a lot of swings. It was finally an original idea, original movie. It's not going to win. But you know, based on originality and taking risks and stuff, it probably should. Um, but yeah, I liked it. I would definitely this would be one of the ones from this year. I would say like, hey, people should see this.
Yeah, I mean that and like Barbie, it's like I feel like good movies you don't get a lot of like creativity anymore. I mean everything's either a superhero or everything's CGI or like it's just a straightforward kind of, run of the mill movie. Like you don't get cool stuff with like practical effects and just like it's you have this medium and you can do anything you want within it. I mean, if you could put it on the screen, you could put it in a movie and nobody like takes advantage of that anymore, I feel like. But Barbie and Poor Things, I think did a good job of that. So at
I did.
least,
I want to get your take on something. So, do you do spoilers on this?
yeah, we can just say spoilers, sure.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, just fast
Emma
forward.
Stone's boobies. Is that what you're gonna say?
No, no, no. Uh, so at the end of the movie, did you think that they were gonna swap Defoe's brain for her dad's body? Because that's what I thought they were gonna do. That's why
Uh,
that's why I thought she was studying the plans so they could keep Willem Dafoe alive because his body had cancer, right?
right. Yeah, I did think she was gonna do something, but yeah, ended up not.
Well,
Yeah.
they did. She swapped it for the goat,
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
I
which is funny, and it's probably
she
it
swaps
probably
the asshole guy for the goat.
her dad.
Yeah.
But she probably like he probably was like, all right, let's wrap this movie up and put a bow on it. And
The whole thing where she finds her dad was like kind of rushed into that. And I was like, that was a really like weird, visceral, like, thing to end it on. Yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense because he doesn't come in till like way later in the movie. And then you didn't really get so much of that like hatred that she had for him to do that, to that like you didn't see that coming for sure. So it was kind of weird. I thought that yeah, she should have did something more towards Willem Dafoe's character at the end than
yeah,
that. But it was certainly out of left field and crazy, and I enjoyed it.
I think that was I think that's what he was going for. Is like, all right, everyone's gonna think we're gonna save Willem Dafoe here,
Right,
but
right,
let's just do this funny thing and roll the credits and call it a day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, I did not think that's where that was going for sure. All right, and then the last one is Zone of Interest. This is what like people live next door to like a concentration camp, like a German film.
So yeah, so this movie is so I with the people that have seen it that I know that I've talked to, it's pretty polarizing. Literally nothing happens in this movie. It's basically Seinfeld without humor
Okay,
taking place next to Auschwitz. Like I
except
think
Hitler's always busted in the door. Whoa, Jerry.
I think his whole my takeaway from this movie was the mundaneness and the ordinariness of the SS officer and his family living directly, like literally, like his yard ends with like a wall, and on the other side of that wall is Auschwitz. And the one amazing thing about this movie is the sound design. So if you watch it, like turn it up because they're just living their normal everyday lives, kids running around, and you would like connect with these characters if you didn't know what was on the other side of that wall and what he did for a living, right?
Right.
So I think he was trying to do a couple of things like, hey, like let's remember that the more this kind of stuff normalizes, this is kind of the end of that path. So let's not do that and
Right.
look. And then I think there's another side of it where he's like, let me see how much I can humanize or try to humanize these people to see if at any point a viewer could have any empathy for those people. And like as a viewer, I never got there. Like they're dealt like the husband has to move away and like whatever. It's like they're dealt a couple of things they have to deal with.
Mm.
But yeah, literally nothing happens in this movie. It's absolute nothing, but I think it's more to me it's more of like an art installation than a movie. It's kind of
Right.
it's it's one of those.
Is that something you're not supposed to know that they live next door to a concentration camp? Oh, you
It,
know right from the get-go. Okay. All right.
very,
So you like to do what you think will win and what you think should win, right? You want to do that?
sure.
All right. So what do you think's going to win?
I think Oppenheimer's going to win, and
I
I
agree.
think it probably should. If there was another one that would sneak in for the should, it would be Poor Things. But I think Oppenheimer's gonna clean up at this Oscars.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that as well. There's just I couldn't believe how much people were talking about how great it was. I'm like, what? Did we watch the same movie? It was
I
boring, dude. It was boring.
was texting with you after you saw it. I really liked it. I'm in the really liked it camp.
I just don't get it. I don't know. All right. Best actor. We got Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin. I don't know what that is. Paul Giamatti, Holdovers, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction. I think they're going to give it to Cillian Murphy. I don't think Paul Giamatti did enough to get it here, and I don't think they have enough love for him because he just hasn't done enough good, like really like acclaimed stuff in general. You know what I mean? I think people like Paul Giamatti. And Bradley Cooper, I don't think he's ready yet. He's got another like 10 years to go, but I feel like he's just starting to pitch himself for this thing now with this. Like I know what he's going for, but I don't think he's getting it.
No, he's definitely not. I mean, it's going to be Cillian Murphy. Honestly, all these performances were solid. Like Jeffrey Wright was great in American Fiction. Giamatti was great. Coleman Domingo was great. Rustin is about this guy Rustin who was like really tight with Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Had a little bit of a falling out, and Rustin is kind of the guy who got the when they did the Million Man March in
Hmm.
DC, he was kind of the brains behind all that.
Okay.
It's not a good movie.
No.
His performance is really good. And Cooper was solid in Maestro. Maestro, the movie itself was um, but him and what's her face were excellent. Carrie Mulligan, she was insane in that movie.
I think his big Jewish nose offended too many Hollywood folks.
Yeah, but dude, that was so just marketing. It's like that
Yeah.
was really smart of them to do because then everyone's like, "Oh, I got to go watch this movie." Otherwise, I don't know who's seeing this movie.
Right.
Like a lot of
I think
burns.
I feel like Cillian Murphy was just like kind of like staring intently at the camera the whole movie. Like it's just him and his eyes. Like
Yeah, basically.
just give each one of his eyeballs their own Oscar. Those steely blues.
I'm interested to see what his speech is going to be like. Watch he's just like super flamboyant and like energetic up. He's going to go up like looking like Christian Bale and the Machinist, just holding a cigarette.
Or he just comes out like throwing confetti like Rip Taylor. It's like, oh, thank you. It's like, wow, that guy really is a good actor. All right. Best actress, Annette Bening, Nyad, which I actually watched last night because that was like the most mainstream of the things I could watch at like midnight. Um, Lily Gladstone, what's that?
I like it.
I liked it. It was good. I mean, it's just kind of your typical like athletic accomplishment movie. It's about the woman who swam from Cuba to Florida. It was good. Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller, Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan, Maestro, and Emma Stone, Poor Things. So I think, like I said, Emma Stone is trying to go for you never go full. You know what? But she's not going to get it. She's too young. I'd like to see. I think I'm gonna go with Annette Bening. I think, and while she's like in the water swimming most of the time. Like she didn't give like this crazy performance. I don't think, but yeah, okay, you kind of believe that she's doing it, and they, mess her up with the makeup and stuff, and she's never won an Oscar, which I think is the key factor here. So I'm gonna go with Annette Bening for my pick.
So she's never won an Oscar, and that's going to continue because Lily Gladstone's going to win.
Yeah, far and
She's
away.
going to win, and she should. She should win. She was excellent.
All right, I gotta watch the rest of that movie. Damn it. All right, best supporting actor. We got Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction. He was the brother, I'm assuming. Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon. Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer. Ryan Gosling, Barbie. Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. I mean, I feel like this is clearly good. This is RDJ. It's his time, right?
Absolutely. I,
Yep.
he was really great.
Yeah. Best Supporting Actress, Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, America Ferrara, Barbie, Jodie Foster for Nyad, and Davine Joy Randolph, The Holdovers. Um, I mean, it's hard to vote against Color Purple. I feel like whenever they remake that thing, somebody's going to win something. But I thought out of these, I thought the chick from The Holdovers was great. I think she was the best part of that movie for sure. But
Really?
I'm gonna go Color Purple.
So this is a pretty weak category, I think, for this year. I think that they're going to give it to the girl from The Holdovers. I thought she was terrible. Like I thought she was just a regular person just hanging around the set, and they're like,
Really?
"Want to be in this movie?" And she's like, "Well, I'm not an actress," and they're like, "Perfect." Maybe that's because maybe she was so good that she just seemed so regular because that was her character. I don't
I mean,
know.
she's like really like Rip Taylor in real life.
Uh, she's definitely going to win, but I am very confused by it. But yeah, I think they're going to give it to her.
All right.
Color
Uh,
Purple, it wasn't very good.
no, I've never seen the original one, let alone the remake. So I don't know, but I know Whoopi Goldberg won for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. All right. Last but not least, best director. Got Jonathan Glazer, Zone of Interest, Yorgos Lanthimos, Poor Things. I think I said his name right the first time. Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer, Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Justin Triet, Anatomy of a Fall. I think Nolan's gonna win, but I'd love to see Yorgos win.
Yeah, it's gonna be Nolan. But you know what's funny? Like this could be one of those. What was the year with Shape of Water, where there was another guy there? Everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's gonna win," and then Shape of Water won.
Yeah, could be that.
Could be that. I don't know. I think Nolan's got it wrapped up. I think it's
He probably does, but he's got enough Oscars. Jesus. Let someone else have a chance. I'm gonna go with Yorgos. I'm gonna go with Dark Horse here.
fair. I mean, I'm gonna just take the easy road and go Nolan. I
All
think.
right. Fair enough. Should we have some kind of stakes? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't. What did we differ on? Just supporting actress, director.
Director, supporting actress, and and best actress.
Oh
I
yeah,
got Annette Bening, you have Lily Gladstone.
sure. What are the stakes?
So I'll bet you like so I feel like you have a better chance because you saw the movie. So I think I need like 2 to 1 odds. So if you win, I send you like a ribeye. If I win, you send me a filet mignon,
Okay,
like
like
literal steaks.
fully cooked.
Yeah, you can send it cooked in the mail.
I accept those stakes.
All right. Seggie, thanks, dude. It's always a pleasure. This is the one hitter, right? Short and sweet. We like it. Tell people where to follow you. Oh, dude, I'm excited. I'm actually excited to try and catch you guys on tour because you guys are doing an all 90s tour this summer, right?
All 90s tour, man. We're gonna have Lisa Loeb at some shows. We're
Yeah,
gonna have
that's sick. I'm gonna have to fly out so I can meet Lisa Loeb.
O-Town at some shows and Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC.
Those are bizarre, but I love the Lisa Loeb choice.
It's excited to hear some stories from all these people.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
they probably got some good ones. But
Yeah,
yeah, SNCmusic.com, all that information will be yeah, all over the country. We're gonna be in Canada in May. If you have any Canadian listeners,
sure we do.
we'll be in Canada in May doing our yacht rock thing. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun summer.
Sweet, man. All right. Thanks, Seggy. Talk to you later, bro.
Cheers.
See ya.